Alliances are shifting in the Caucasus. Russia is on the brink of losing its longtime ally Armenia, and guess who's replacing them? Russia's rival, Europe. Some background first here. Armenia's relations with Moscow are pretty old. It dates back to the 19th century. Later on, Armenia became part of the Soviet Union. So simply put, they're tight. Russia has supported and armed Armenia. In fact, they're part of the same treaty alliance. It's called the CSTO, the Collective Security Treaty Organization. Think of it as Russia's NATO. An attack on one CSTO member is an attack on all. Well, Armenia says it was attacked last month. Azerbaijan launched an operation into Nagorno-Karabakh. Now, technically, it's part of Azeri land, Nagorno-Karabakh. But until last month, it was ruled by Armenians, not the government, but by Armenian separatists. It was a tense and fragile peace. And Russia was supposed to hold this peace to guarantee the status quo. But when trouble came, Russia went missing. Azerbaijan rolled in and took over Nagorno-Karabakh. So now Armenia's government is looking for options. And in Europe, they have found a willing partner. On Thursday, EU leaders held a special summit with Armenia. Azerbaijan was also supposed to attend, but their president decided to skip. He said, Turkey is not coming, so I won't. Now, a quick side note. Turkey is a key supporter of Azerbaijan. President Erdogan gives them political and military support. Back to the summit now in the EU. Armenia's prime minister met 3 European leaders, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and EU President Charles Michel. Look at the statement after these meetings. This is what they said. The leaders underlined their unwavering support to the independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and inviolability of the borders of Armenia. In fact, Macron is extra keen. This week, he sent his foreign minister to Armenia, and he also promised them military support. The French president accused Azerbaijan of violating international laws.
So it's not France that has a problem with Azerbaijan. It's Azerbaijan that has a problem today with the commitments it has made, with keeping its own word and with respecting international law.
This commitment is very important because France is a NATO country. Armenia is Russia's treaty ally. So for them to take weapons from France is massive. But why is Macron so keen? Well, France is home to a large Armenian diaspora. Paris was among the first Western capitals to recognize the Armenian genocide. The US did so around 2 decades later. So France has always been interested in Armenia. But beyond all that, there is also a strategic reason. The chance to sway a Russian ally. You don't get that every day. And President Putin is making Macron's job easy. He's blaming Armenia for ignoring Russia's proposals.
Armenia and Azerbaijan signed a statement. Do you understand? The statement in which Armenia confirms Nagorno-Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan Republic. There are no Armenians left in Nagorno-Karabakh. Everyone left. Do you know that everyone left? There are just no Armenians. Maybe 1,000 or 1,500. That's it.
Well, that's not what Armenia wants to hear. Certainly not from its ally. But compare that to Europe. They're giving Armenia weapons. They've also invited their prime minister to address the EU Parliament. So Brussels is ticking all the boxes. And how has Armenia responded? With equal enthusiasm. Their parliament has voted to join the ICC, that's the International Criminal Court, the same court which has issued an arrest warrant for Putin. So Armenia is not holding back. They're unhappy with Moscow and they're making it known. Where does that leave Vladimir Putin? In a tight spot. The Caucasus is supposed to be Russia's backyard, yet their dominance has been questioned. I'm sure other former Soviet states will also be watching what's happening, like the 5 stans in Central Asia. Will they trust Russia's security umbrella anymore? Or will they look for alternatives? China, for example, is very eager to jump in. The US and Europe have also been making moves in Central Asia. So what's happening in the Caucasus has long-term strategic impacts. It could change the traditional perception about Russia. They're usually seen as a reliable partner, someone who turns up all the time. But after Armenia, maybe not.